YouTube world, welcome to the Arm Wrestling Buzz episode 57. I'm your host, Paul Italia, here with the Arm Wrestling Buzz crew. We got Matt Hollywood Conley in the house, we got Israel Chavez, and we got our special guest of the day, Auden Lariat. What's up, fellas? How's everybody doing?
Doing
Real
good.
good.
Doing
Real
good,
good.
brother. Doing good.
Hell yeah, we're just waiting on James English is going to be popping in any minute soon. We know these guys got a big match coming up June 15th over in Florida. But before we get into that, let's get into the current events going on in the community. And we're going to go to Israel and have you kick it off with that.
Oh yeah, brother. All right. Well, this weekend is gonna be a pretty busy weekend in the arm wrestling world. We got the Florida event, of course. We got on here, We got the Challenger series. There's a couple updates to that I wanted to talk about. So I'm sure everybody knows that the headliner match now is going to be Travis Vagant versus Derek Smith, and that's going to be left-handed. And I believe
Can't wait for
also
that one. That's
yeah,
gonna be fire. Travis making the comeback and going against the tower, Derek Smith, left hand. Ooh-wee. That'll give us
Yeah.
a good gauge of where Travis is at. Is he taking this seriously? Is he really making his comeback? I hope he is. And by the physical appearance of him, I truly believe it this time.
what do you think about that, Auden? You think Travis is
I,
coming
I
back with a
think if
vengeance?
Travis is really back, I think if he's really back, and we won't know until the day of. Really won't know. I think if he's back, it's no problem for Travis. It's no problem. And I mean, I love Derek, but Travis, if he's good, is on a different level. Like he's incredible. His setup, everything he does, his ability to manipulate the refs. He's a very intelligent arm wrestler, and he's super strong as well. So if he's anywhere near where he was, it'll be dominant.
Now, the only question is, man, I don't want anybody to forget, though, the last time we seen Travis left arm was against Brandon Elsessor. I believe we heard the same story. He's back. He's making these big moves and all.
Yeah.
And he lost to Brandon and all. So Derek, I believe, is going to be definitely a lot bigger hurdle and definitely a tougher match. So he better be taking this 100%. And I'm hoping he is. I know that football season is off right now, so we know he's got the time and he could put it in. It's just a matter of did he put it in. So I hope he does, and I'm rooting for him for sure.
Another big thing happening is I think the RVJ match is now canceled. He's no longer having his match with Jerome Loud.
I want to get into that, man. Like I seen a video out there with RVJ. I seen a couple. Let's just say he quit a couple times in the last couple days and all. And yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's just that time of year. And I think he goes through those periods where, he goes all in with the social media and he's going hard for about like 6-7 months, posting religiously, letting his views be known. And then I think it just kind of like burns out. I think all the trolls and, all the hate, and I think it just starts like building up. And, he's like that ticking time bomb, man, where there's only so much that he could take. And then he just kind of like snaps. And think we might be going through one of those times. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Do we really think RVJ is done with arm wrestling? Do we think it's just social media?
No, I think you're right. It's just one of those things with the man we've seen over the last few years. He does go up and down with emotions. He's very much an emotional guy, and maybe at this point in time, he's stepping away for a little while and before he does something in front of the world that he doesn't want them to see. But just calm down a little bit, come back. He'll always come back. I mean, this is that sport that you can never quit. It's one of those things you just seem to get stronger as you get older as well, which is insane. But yeah, I think he'll be back. Just give him a couple of months, maybe.
Yeah, for sure he'll be back. I'd be very surprised if he just kind of disappears. But we have the other special guest here, James. Nice to finally like meet you ish and talk
Oh
to
yeah,
you.
we've never actually talked, have we?
No, we haven't. No.
What up, dude? How are you?
Oh, I'm
What's
not
up,
bad at all.
James?
Hey,
Welcome
real
to the
quick,
show, brother.
what's up with RVJ bitching about us talking about gear? Why did he throw a little hissy fit over that? I didn't
RVJ
understand that.
RVJ doesn't like me. I don't know why, but he doesn't like me. He liked me at the start, and now he's like making videos about how terrible I am and such a piece of shit, pretty much. I don't know why, but for
Yeah.
some reason he talks about natural arm wrestling and how much he loves natural arm wrestling, and then when there's a natural arm wrestler, he fucking shits on him. Like, come on, like what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Me and James got it too. Right after our show, we had RVJ on.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was talking about. We did a
James
show
went
and
into a little juice talk and having our conversation, and it set off RVJ because literally right after that he went on his channel and just kind of went off on us and all. But I love RVJ, man. Me and him got that love-hate relationship. One day we're best of friends, where everything is great, and then the next day, oh man, I'm the target of his next attack on his YouTube channel. So I came,
friend, huh?
yeah, I came to get used to that, man. But what's up, James? How are you tonight, brother? Welcome, bro.
Pretty good, dude. You texted me while I was taking a shit and I was about to go to the gym.
Yep.
And I'm like, fuck. So I went to the gym, got in a leg workout as fast as I could. I was going to do legs and then my arm wrestling, but I'm going to have to go back to the gym later. That's how much I care about you, Paul. I skipped my arm wrestling workout just to get back here, just for you.
Appreciate it, James. So I want to ask you, James, what's your take on the whole RVJ? Did you get to see that, he retired, twice, and, he made 2 videos. The first one he quit. Then the second one he wanted to finish the first video of quitting and all. Did you get to see that at all?
No. I saw it popped up on my feed, something about, it was titled like, I'm done or something like that. And I clicked on it and I just skimmed through the comments. And I don't know. I was thrown off after the whole like hissy fit over the gear, honestly. It just threw me off.
Like, you guys know me the whole video about how I responded. Somebody asked me about what I thought about steroids and arm wrestling. I said it's a sacrifice. It's part of the sport. It's not banned. Like,
what the fuck are you supposed to say?
And then he made a video and was like, this is a terrible idea. A point for the sheeple. Auden Lariat's ideologies are like total. I thought my response was, I didn't pick a side. I'm like, it's a sacrifice.
Your response was fine. Your response, there's nothing else you could have said. What are you gonna say? Fuck everyone who takes steroids. That's like 90% of the arm wrestling community.
Yeah, and I would never say that. Like, that's not even at all what I believe.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
So I think that on top of Ryan Bowen just set him off.
Yes, again, Israel.
Ryan Bowen seems like also set him off. They have a podcast that they run and
overcoming power.
Yeah, and something about Ryan Bowen not letting him know with due time that he wasn't going to be able to get on the podcast that day, and he said, "Fuck it, I'm canceling the whole thing."
Oh my God! So that beef is about to go off again, man, because they were getting a little too buddy for everybody for a little while. I guess RVJ had enough of that.
Hey, I thought it was great, dude. Settle the beef, squash the beef, come together. More love in the world, but it just couldn't last, man.
I knew from episode 1, I was like, man, I'm gonna count the episodes on one hand that we're gonna have.
Israel, what's your thoughts, man? Is this like a social media meltdown, or is this like I'm done with arm wrestling? Like, where do we think he's going with this?
I don't know, man. I think the guy's got arm wrestling in his blood. I don't think he's gonna ever just fully step away from the sport. I think he was in his feels. He might have had one too many, especially in the second video, and he was just airing it out. I don't think there's full weight to the fact that he's gonna quit forever. I mean,
wait. So what was his reasoning?
He was just going on a tangent about steroids, about Ryan Bowen, about the state of arm wrestling and having to, he's not going to bow down to anyone and, just the average stuff.
What I got out of it too, James, that really set it off was that he was supposed to be on the podcast with Ryan Bowen that night. And I think Ryan Bowen was leaving to Dubai and didn't let him know that he wasn't planning on coming on the show. Well, RVJ found out like an hour before the show or something. And, his time needs to be respected, which, I could understand that, as well. They should have discussed that days before. But what I really think is going on is I think when RVJ goes camping, there's just too much time on his hands. You know what I mean? Of course, he's there with his family having a good old time, but I'm sure you're going to go scroll through your phone a little. And when you got, nothing else to do, but you're out in the woods, I'm sure, things are going to bother you that normally you'd probably just let slide. So I think he had a couple of drinks and kind of just got on video and decided to go RVJ style, which I always love his rants, man. I hope he doesn't, actually retire. Hope in like 2-3 days we get, I'm back and, he's going after somebody else because he's definitely entertaining to watch and a great thing for arm wrestling. What else we got going on?
I agree with all that, but what's his actual reason? Because Ryan Bowen didn't come on the podcast, he's going to quit.
No, I can tell you why. I watched the video. He said he doesn't do it for validation, but I'm leaving because I don't get enough validation.
And Auden, what's the beef for you, man? Is it, does he think that you're not natural? Is it
He thinks that Auden is just served up on a silver platter because of Devin.
Yeah.
And he can't get past that fact that some
and he said, he's like, it's not that I'm jealous of him. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit jealous of him. And then goes on to just shit on me all the time. Like he used to be a family friend of ours. Yep. So like good family friend.
Hey. Yeah, I've seen him at your house in videos with your dad.
What's up, Devin? How you doing, brother?
How much do you think RVJ weighs?
Uh-oh, he's coming down to RVJ weight.
How much do you think RVJ weighs?
250.
250, yeah.
250?
I don't know. Isn't he like 6'3"?
No, he's like 220, 220, man. 220, 230.
Really? You know what?
Yeah, but all that,
I'd pull RVJ as my welcome back to the category. I'll fucking kick his ass. And then you know what? I'll kick RVJ's ass. And then if I can beat him, I bet you Auden will beat him afterwards.
Oh
no shit.
No shit. Spicy.
And we'll both do blood work. So fuck him.
Wait, what did he say? We'll both do
blood work. They'll beat him natty. Steroid-free match.
Hey, listen.
RBJ's
you get the RBJ blood work. I got a guy who can dissect that down to the last fucking T. More plates, more dates. I'll send that right over to Derek and be like, tell me if this guy's ever done anything, huh?
That guy's
RBJ. If you are listening, bro, you just got called out by Devin and his son, and you get blood work on both of them, man. So we could put all this
1 year apart. I beat him. Well, I'll pull him, and then Auden will get him a year later. 1 year later.
I like that. Auden, what's your weight at these days, man? You were looking like you filling in, bro.
Like 280.
I knew some bullshit was about to come out of his mouth, bro. He's not giving up his weight this close to the match.
It's a secret. It's a secret. Yeah. But look how lean I am. See that tight shirt? Oh, right across. No,
let's see a little gut reveal there.
Everyone take a guess.
Let's see the
Everyone take a guess. James, what do you think he's weighing?
Okay, so when they do the weigh-in, don't you step on stage and or step on the scale in clothes and shoes and whatnot, because there's no weight cap, so it's not like you need to lose weight. I think in shoes. Wait, what kind of shoes do you wear?
I don't know, like running shoes.
Okay, light. Those are light. I'm in jeans. I'm gonna say 231.
Maybe.
I think that's.
I think you're awfully close, James.
I think that's yeah.
No idea.
When you guys both signed,
no idea.
When you both signed, what was Auden at? Because I remember we were talking about that. I just don't remember the exact number.
Probably 210 about. It was, well, I mean, we pretty much got this confirmed pretty quickly after Whisperer. So I was like 211 middle of the day, clothes on, everything, waiting at the table.
You're 225 right now. That's where I got you at.
What's your guess?
Close. In clothes?
In
or
clothes.
Okay. I think on meet day is gonna be 230 around there. In clothes.
Okay.
What about you, Matt? What do you think?
Yeah, I think around that 100 kilos. This is hard for me because I got to try to convert it in my head every time you guys say a weight. It's like 230.
Yeah.
So I reckon 100 kilos.
I'm going to say, because I could see the fluff around the face, man. I seen you put on some weight, and I could see that, and I see you got a little stomach going on there. So
I don't actually have a stomach. I can just really push it out. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go like that.
That's food.
You are starting to look like Devin, bro. You are starting for real. It's happening, man. Like, every time I see it, I'm like, holy shit, he's really transforming. You're like the same height now. Like, big boy, for real.
Yeah, man.
Too massive.
So let me ask you guys, who's going to win?
James is going to win.
Wow, James,
I got Auden for
looking
sure.
jacked, bro.
I put the house and the wife and the kids on Auden.
See how big that guy is? You see how big that guy is?
Yeah.
What am I even doing?
Yeah, but what's the height difference? Yeah, what's the height difference, though? Yeah, no, can't play that game. So what are you like? 3'6'4" right now, bro?
We're the same height.
Auden's just shy of 6'4", and James is what? You're 5'9", 5'10", James?
Like 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
Oh, you're 6 foot. Wow.
I'm 6'2".
6'2".
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Hey,
One of the shorter 6'2s.
If he's 6'2", I'm like 5'10", 5'11", man. So that works. James, what's your weight at though, man? You look like you filled in yourself.
Morning. I know Auden's not going to believe this, but like morning fasted, like after I take a pee, it's about 210. But that's without clothes on and all that stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, about 210.
Whatever
So
weight you
close-
gained, man, it looks like you gained it in that right arm.
Yeah, I think I lost a bit of fullness in my legs because I've had to back leg training. Heavy compound leg training is extremely taxing on the nervous system. So
That's why I don't do it.
So that I had to back it off and just do like leg extensions and like isolation stuff. I think I've lost a bit of fullness there, and the fullness has just been transferred right here. So yeah, I think in close, like on the day, I'll probably be around like 215.
James, are you living for the match right now?
Am I what?
Living for the match, like your whole every day, your life is dedicated for the super match, or are you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're 100% in.
Yeah.
What is let's go through a day of you from the beginning. Like, what does your day look like? I want to hear about how much arm wrestling training, how many times a day you're hitting the gym, everything you're doing.
Well, recently I've been, I've definitely taken my foot off the gas in terms of bodybuilding. I'm trying to just maintain my size now. I'm not trying to grow or anything because it's so close to the match. So it's been that way for a couple weeks now. And yeah, I mean, you want to know what I go through throughout the day. It's a pretty
Meaning, like how many hours a day are you dedicating to arm wrestling?
Well, I mean, just one arm wrestling workout every other day, basically, and then one table time a week, and then I do some rehab stuff. So it's not like I'm dedicating in terms of like working out. It's pretty close to the match at this point. I can't be in there hitting like a 4 hour arm wrestling workout.
But
But
let's say the last month, like leading up, that's where I'm trying to get. I'm just trying to compare what you guys are both doing and how much time both of you putting in.
I think Auden's training more often. I just think his workouts are shorter because he does the single style like Devin, and I'm sure he does other stuff too. But mine, I'm getting training from Lachlan, and his style it's more familiar to me. It reminds me of a powerlifting program, and you can't be doing that every day. Sometimes it would be like 25 sets per workout, like RPE 9, and I'm fucking gassed by the end of it. You just can't do that every day. So, I mean, I basically just wake up and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and then I go to the gym. That's been my workout, dude.
I'm glad to hear that you guys linked up, man, you and Lachlan, because I know, we were trying to make that connection happen. I knew that you two had a lot in common and that would be beneficial to you. So I'm glad to hear that for sure. Lachlan's a great trainer, man, for real.
Yeah, he is. He's really responsive too. Like he's been super helpful, and he's super fucking knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah.
Like I had some pain in like my forearm, and he said, show this to your bodywork guy. And he wrote out exactly what needed to be worked on in terms of like my nerves up in here and work this out and this muscle and that muscle. Shit I'd never even heard of. So I just pulled up to my bodywork guy and showed him the message. And I'm like, do all this. And he was like, okay, I got you. And he just fixed it up. It's great.
He's super smart. He's super, super smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really knows his stuff. Let me ask you, man, have you been using BPC or TB 500?
Yeah, probably not as consistently as I should, but yes, I've been using it a couple times a week on average, I would say.
You can give us like an example of the dosage and time frequency in between? Because I know you're very knowledgeable with those peptides and all, and I got a lot of people send me a lot of DMs kind of just trying to figure out what the dosages should look like and all. Because when you Google it, you get a full spectrum. You get all over the place. And
all those people RVJ.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't let RVJ hear this fucking segment, dude.
RVJ, earmuffs,
RVJ. I'm out of here.
So okay, if you look it up, I know what you mean. A million different people say a million different things. I don't know how many studies have actually been done in people on this stuff. A lot of it's like in vitro and stuff like that. So it's like in theory it works. For me, I'm sponsored by Amino Asylum, so I get it for free. So I just megadose it because it's like, why not? They send me a kit of like 5 BPCs and 5 TB500s, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll do a quarter vial of this a day. If I get it for free, why not?
So what is a vial? Like 5 milligrams?
5 milligrams. So I think a quarter of that is 1,250 micrograms. So 1.25 milligrams. And I'll just
you're doing that once a day. When do you take that? Before you work out? When you first
honestly, so if I do it before bed, and ideally I would do it every single day. But I just, it gets late and it's like, all right, I should probably just go to bed. Oh fuck, I forgot to do BPC. Oh fuck it, I'll do it tomorrow. And that happens like most days of the week. So
not everybody's sponsored, so obviously they can't do it just for me.
Yeah, I think for the average person, you do 500 micrograms a day of both, but do it every day and do it into the injury site, and that should be good.
And for how long of a period of time?
I mean, I had one guy message me and he had no reason to lie to me. And he was like, dude, I had a torn or an injured muscle in my rotator cuff, and it was a chronic injury for 9 months. And then I did BPC. He did 1 milligram a day for 3 weeks, along with TB 500 milligram a day, and he said it was gone, which is crazy. A 9-month chronic injury gone in 3 weeks.
It's crazy, yeah.
And obviously doing rehab and, taking time off lifting, but the peptides healed that stuff up.
Yeah, I truly believe in them too. Like I tell everybody my experience after my surgery, on the right side I didn't use the peptides, on the left side I did, and it cut it in half. I don't know what specifically did it, but I just threw everything I could at it to heal it up, and it really worked for the left, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Odin, I want to go on to you, brother. I want to hear what's your typical day like, getting ready for this super match, and is this like life right now? Are you living for this super match?
No, not really. I mostly just like sleep and play video games and stuff. Like, every once in a while I'll pull a bit, but
are you just training your thumb like Devin did for Grundy?
Yeah, sometimes. I train like at most like 30 minutes a day.
All right, now reality, man, like for real, bro. Like, are you living for this super match? Like, is this like, your priority, your focus, or are you? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, you don't get a lot of opportunity to pull somebody like James, so I want to bring my best shape I can. I'm definitely the strongest I've been, but just look at James. Come on, what am I gonna do? What the fuck can I even do?
I'm tiny. What do you mean?
You're too big.
I just have a big head.
Okay. Yeah. Well, big head means big arms, so yeah.
It's true.
Well, I like how humble you are, Odin, but considering you're sitting next to one of the best arm wrestlers on this planet, and you get to call him dad and AKA coach, so James definitely gonna have his hands full that day.
Yeah.
But how many hours a day would you say you're putting in towards arm wrestling training for this super match?
It's hard to say, because the thing is really I train all day, but it's like James was saying, it's not like I'm actually lifting weights all day. It's like, okay, I'll do like a 2-hour workout here. I'll do a bunch of singles here. I'll do like 3 blood flow sessions here. Like, I'll just throw them in through the day. Like, there's numbers I try to hit of certain things. And I am able to train a lot just because I've done it long enough that I can really train these kind of things without my tendons hurting. So I'm blessed in that way. I can train all day and be pretty good. Like, I'm pretty good. So most days I just train hours. What's that?
How about table time weekly? How much table time are you getting in?
Probably like minimum three like full sessions, like 3.5 hours plus.
Okay, and now who are you training with? Are you training with do you have a team? Are you training with dad and your brother? Like, who's the main training partners for this camp?
So I would say probably it's either my dad for the main training partner, or the greatest club in the world, Ottawa Highhookers, which I do 2 times a week, Mondays, Thursdays. And yeah, I train from the very start till everybody else leaves, and then I get out of there.
So Auden, when you're training it, because you said you're doing 3 table practices a week,
minimum.
So like, let's say 3.5 on average, whatever. You're doing a lot of table time, a lot of table workouts per week. Are you like, at this point, are you redlining for any of those matches, or are you just working on technique and flowing?
I redline. Thing is, normally most people that I pull, I am better than, so I don't have to redline. But like, I'll be like, go as hard as you can with me. Every once in a while, I'll pull a guy who's either like close to me, or like, for example, my dad, who's better than me, or like pork chop or something, and then I'm redlining. But like, really, man, I don't get, like, I can totally be cooked to my arms and then hit new PRs the next day. Like, I just recovered so quick from arm wrestling. It doesn't affect me.
Because to me, like, when I show up in practice now, I don't want to pull people that I'm much better than, just because maybe it's wrong of me, but everyone has been telling me, oh, don't pull people that you're that much better than because like you're not learning anything. So I just seek out the strongest guys at the club. And I literally was like, I was spamming Mika to show up. I was like, dude, I'm counting on you, bro. You got to be there. Don't bail on me. And then I'm just waiting for him. And then as soon as he gets there, I just pull with him the whole time. But then it's like my arm fucking hurts for days. So
Well,
it's
it's
like,
smart. It's smart to do that, but it is a little bit wrong to say that pulling with weaker people doesn't teach you stuff. I would say you actually learn more from pulling with people you have control. Now, never pull with somebody you're stronger than outside of straps because that develops bad habits. You never want to do that. That's the worst thing you can do. But in strap, because then you're holding on, and it's just you get in bad habits of like giving them stuff outside of straps, and it's just the wrong way of doing it. If you want to pull somebody weaker than you, always straps, always. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like if you're pulling like a guy stronger than you, or at least close to you, all day long, it's going to mess you up. But
yeah, dude,
yeah,
like I did it,
100%.
and it wasn't really a problem for most of prep. But then Mika showed up, and I was just, doing a lot of pulling that whole day. And then it's like the next day, I can't even do my arm wrestling workout. So it's like, shit,
Yeah.
or, I think it was, but I like honestly, a big reason that I did that is because everyone was asking me, everyone was like, I don't know how good this guy is. So I'm like, fine, I'll invite someone who's really good and I'll do my best against them. So I kind of did it for the YouTube aspect.
Smart.
How did you
Yeah,
go?
it is a good move.
Well, I gotta say, man, watching that footage, I really, you're a lot higher level than I was thinking you might be. I gotta say, you were looking pretty strong on the table, very rigid.
And the footage that you're talking about, is that on James's channel? And I'm assuming it's him pulling Mika.
Yeah.
Was that the one that you
Well,
said?
it's him pulling. He's pulling all the guys out of Osgin's Mendy's gym.
Which we know they are one of the top in the U.S. Man, that is a beast mode squad. No joke.
Yeah, because they're all fucking Armenian, bro. There's something in their genetic code, dude.
Yep. Straight killers, man.
They are, bro. There's like 19-year-olds there. I'm like, how are you this strong? I mean, Auden's 19, so I know there's strong 19-year-olds out there. It's still just like, what the fuck is up with you?
So James, what happens with Ready Goes between you and Mika for those guys that haven't seen the videos yet?
Well, I did win the Ready Go. I hate even saying that because it's like it's not in a tournament, so I don't want people to think that I'm saying I'm better than Mika right arm. But I told him, like, listen, I want you to make this as legit as possible. I know you can only get so hyped up in a practice versus at a real tournament, but I want you to get as good of a setup as you could possibly get on me. And I did it with Mika because I know he's really smart and he knows how to set up well. And that's been, honestly, that's been something I've been worried about is like everyone telling me the setup, you got to worry about the setup. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy, but I got the win on him in a Ready Go. And then we had a couple other Ready Goes, but where I beat him more easily. But he wasn't really going 100% in terms of like getting the best setup he possibly could. We would just have someone come over and they'd set our hands and say, ready, go. And that was easier. But when he really, really fucking tried to get everything he could, it was much harder.
What's Mika's weight at these days?
I think he's around 210 or 215.
Damn, bro. I gotta say, James, you getting wins on him, regardless if it's in practice. But I gotta say, man, when guys are pulling you and obviously the cameras are out, they know it's gonna go on your channel, man. So nobody's gonna want to just willingly let you win and go on your channel and see a couple 100,000 people watch that. So I'm sure, he's given, what he's got in there. But just to hear that you beat him, man, that dude is next level, man. I've always looked up to Mika, and that is pretty insane that you're beating him this short of time in.
Well,
Auden.
yeah, but like if it was Arm Wars or something and he was all jacked up and he had just gotten off work, so he had been working, he owns like a tennis, like he teaches tennis. So that's obviously using your arm. It's not like he was completely fresh and it is practice. So,
And
But
for
we
you guys that
didn't
don't know
also
Mika,
address-
Mika is a professional tennis player as well, and that transfers over very, very well into arm wrestling. You know, their explosive power is off the chain. The tendons are already developed, and a lot of guys that aren't in California don't really know Mika. But I'm gonna let you guys know this dude is a killer, man.
Yeah, he's incredible.
For real, man. So, Auden, hearing that James is getting some ready-go wins on Mika, does that scare you at all, Auden?
Yeah, it terrifies me. He's gonna kick my ass, like I've said.
What's your initial thoughts, man? Say that you didn't hear that James went against Mika and all. If you never gripped up with Mika, what's your thoughts? Would you think that you would be the favorite going against him, or would you think Mika would have the advantage against you?
What, me against Mika?
Yes.
Oh, Mika kick my ass, just like James will.
You're never gonna get a straight answer from him, Paul.
No, not 2 weeks out, man. Good luck.
Let me ask you, Auden, what is the key for you to win that day? You know, James was just commented saying that, you know, everybody's telling him he's got to really work on that setup, you know, and watching you against the Whisper kind of, you know, showed you were pretty dominant with the setup. Do you think setup is the key for you to get a win that day?
Honestly, I think the big key is right before the match, James gets like really injured and then pulls out. Other than that, I think I'm fucked, honestly. Like, really.
What could we expect that day, man? Are you coming in real confident? Because I remember you walking in with the Whisper. You kind of were
Sounds
there.
confident,
You
dude.
were,
Oh,
you
real
were just
confident.
chilling, no nerves at all. Do we expect the same entrance and all?
I mean, I hope so, but James is a lot bigger than the Whisperer, so that's much scarier to me. Whisperer, I was able to kind of like I was height mogging him so hard that it was no problem for me. But James, since he's like 6'2", I can't quite do that.
So
Yeah, forgot
okay,
about that.
what's your coming in song, man? What's the entrance song for you, Auden?
I can't give that up. Come on, that's a secret.
Ah, man, we want to hear the secret sauce, man. We want to hear something.
You'll hear it when I come out to it, and then you'll be like, oh, perfect song.
Don't
Perfect
worry,
song.
Hey,
be happy.
James, what about you, bro? What's your entrance song? And you know, what do you think is the key for you to obtain the win that day?
See, my entrance song, the goal of it is to get in Auden's head. So obviously I can't reveal it now because then he's just gonna be ready for it.
Is
What
it
is your
Stupid Toilet?
of you the way you come in? Are you going to be very relaxed? Are you going to be like all amped up and like, you know, adrenaline going? What can we
Me?
expect? Yeah, because I've never seen you in competition or super match. Like, what are you going to be like?
Bro, what do you think? My fucking heart is gonna be jumping out of my chest, dude.
Okay.
I got the Xanax ready for the night before. I'm gonna sleep like a baby, but as soon as I wake up, dude, it's gonna be adrenaline from the get-go.
Wow.
Don't worry about it, James. Don't worry about it. It's all
I
okay.
can't I've always been
It'll all
like
be okay.
before I went to Worlds for powerlifting, and the night before, it's always like I'm just thinking about it, thinking about it. I've never really had a problem sleeping though. But the day of, like getting ready for it, yeah, bro, you want your adrenaline to be pumping. Adrenaline makes you strong. Fear makes you strong.
Nice. And what is the key, do you think, man? Do you think that that setup, you know, we know that Odin, you know, plays a lot of games in the setup. How do you combat
Talking
that?
about Paul. What are you even saying?
I'm trying
You
to
can't
give
be
him some
saying
heads
that.
up,
Come
man. I'm trying
on.
to give him some tips here. Are we going to go to ref
Um,
strip or are we going to fight him? What are we expecting?
yeah, I mean, I'll see how it feels the day of, and if worse comes to worse, then ref script.
And what are you
But
thinking? Straps, no straps? What do you
straps for sure.
strap?
100% straps.
Auden, what's your thoughts on straps and no straps? Do you want to go there or no?
I mean, to me, he's like I've said before, he's going to crush me either one. But I do prefer pulling in straps.
Who's got the
Start the
stronger
strap.
hand, Auden?
What's that?
Who's got a stronger hand, you or James?
James.
James, do you
Why
agree?
do you bother asking these questions? What, Paul?
James, do you think that your hand is stronger than Auden's or not really
I
sure?
think I'll give an honest answer. I think it's stronger pound for pound in terms of like the size to strength ratio, but I think that having longer fingers gives you so much better leverage when it comes to wrapping around that if your fingers are, let's say, half an inch shorter than someone else's, they gotta be like 30% stronger to even match that level, just due to the hand size alone.
How much stronger percentage is your hand than his then?
Than Auden's?
Yeah.
I don't know. Auden didn't want to do the ultra grip test that I asked him for. He said, "Oh, it's 3 weeks out. It's too close to the match." So we never got that from him. But I think that's
well. The secret is, James, I did do the lift, and I did like 25 pounds. I'm like, oh, it's too much.
Oh,
it's too much. Yeah, I couldn't do near your number.
Yeah.
Auden, is your hand the same size as Devin's?
No, it's the same as James's.
So it's huge. It's fucking huge then.
Matt, what's your thoughts on this match after hearing all these guys, how they prepared and all, and who do you think is for that day?
It sounds like Auden's going to get destroyed by his own words.
Yeah. No. You are so correct.
He's speaking it into existence. It's perfect.
No, I think it's going to be fun, man. This is one of those matches that it's like two big personalities that got big followings. And it's a perfect match. I mean, you know, Odin's coming off a win against Whisperer, which was an interesting match as well because both guys had big followings, and James has got a big following as well. It's like this is the perfect next step for Odin's career and a perfect opportunity for James to say, "Hey, I'm not just a bodybuilder. Like I'm good on the table as well, and I can commit my training and become good at anything." And this is where you get the opportunity to prove it. I think it's very exciting. And I think Auden having the experience of stepping on that big stage one time before James has done it is going to help. I think you are going to get those nerves when you hit that stage and you put your elbow down on the table and there's all the cameras and all the people and this is the moment. But I think as soon as you feel pressure on your hand, I think all of that will go out the window and you should be able to dial it straight in. But
and also he's done 3 super matches to my knowledge on a big stage because he did 2 on Arm Wars and then he did 1 with Whisper. So he does a good bit more there. I think the way, it obviously was different, but when I did bodybuilding, the thing that I was worried about so much leading up to the show was stage fright. I was worried that I was going to be, you know, kind of the same thing, like in front of all those people, blah, blah, blah. And what's funny is I was only scared before I stepped on stage. As they're saying, James English in the hole, James English on deck, my heart's beating. But then they call my name and all that went away. And I just walk out and I feel confident and I know I look good. And I feel like there's carryover here. It's like if I walk up and I know I'm strong and I know the work has been done, I think that fear, that kind of like heart beating, you know, maybe getting overwhelmed is going to go right out the window once I actually step on that platform and walk up to the table.
Did you do a lot of ready goes to prepare for this?
It's like all I do now, basically. It's not all I do, but against people that are really good, I do ready goes. Yeah.
I'm going to say I think that is one of the biggest things to translate over. And if you prepared for that, you know, I think you're not going to, you know, freeze up or, you know, get that fright because it's just, you know, it's repetition, just muscle memory, doing it over and over. And, you know, just like you said, man, as soon as you call your name and you get up to that table, you're just there. You don't even hear anybody else in the room. It's just you and Auden, and, you know, you just let what you've been practicing all this time come out and, you know, just trust in your training. That's everything. Israel, what's your thoughts? Who do you think is going to walk away with this? And we're going to come back to you, Matt, before, if you had to bet your house, we're going to come back and you got to pick one of them. But let's hear what Israel's got to say on this one.
You know, before when the match first got announced, I didn't really know, you know, how it would go. I was just seeing that Auden had a lot more experience than James. But after, you know, seeing how serious James is taking it, seeing his practice footage, seeing how strong he is on the table, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great match. I honestly can see James winning just as well as I can see Auden winning. It's hard to like really call a winner at this point. If I have to give it to something, I'll just give the edge to Auden based on experience.
No chance.
James is coming in strong, man. James is coming in strong.
Matt, back to you, brother. You got to bet your house on this one, man. Who are you putting it on?
Yeah, well, same sort of thing. Experience. I know what it's like stepping up on the table for super matches, and sometimes people that have just been doing it for longer, they understand the little manipulations they need to take your strength away from you. I think James is going to put on a great show. I think that you're going to look awesome on the table. but I think the edge is going to be with Auden.
I got to ask James, who's going to be your corner guy that day?
My buddy from Houston. It all comes full circle. The guy, Jason Montgomery, got me into arm wrestling. He is the first guy who I ever pulled on a table. And it was when I first moved to Houston. And he's gonna be in my corner. He's flying out just for this. So
shout out to Jason Montgomery. He's a great kid, man.
Yeah.
Hanging out with him a few
Yeah.
times at a couple events we threw. Great dude. Same
Yeah.
question for you, Auden. Who do you got in your corner that day?
I'll go probably my dad, I think.
Very nice. Very nice.
He's arm wrestled a bit.
Yeah, he knows a little some, just a little.
Yeah.
So all right, guys, I can't wait for this one, man. Want to also make mention, we got that big main event match that we've been talking about, and that's going on with Travis Bagent going against Derek Smith, left hand. I know that was just announced recently. I know we touched on it a little, but I want to get your guys' predictions that day. So, James, who do you think is going to walk away with that win?
Well, I've only seen Travis here and there for obviously I've seen all his older stuff, but since he retired, I've only seen, he's done a few pulls here and there, but I'm kind of confused as to what his level is at this point. And if he shows up anywhere like he was before, left-handed, that's going to be really hard to beat. But also it's against Derek Smith, who does have really long arms. And if your ace move is a top roll and you're showing up against someone with longer arms than you, it does become a little bit harder, obviously, due just to the leverage. But it really depends on how back is Travis Bagent. Is he for real back, or has he just been dabbling in arm wrestling again? And that's really going to be what determines it, I think.
Auden, same question for you, brother.
Yeah, I got Travis. I mean, Travis is no James English or anything, but I think he'll be good enough to beat Derek. I think if he's back all the way, no problem.
Matt, your thoughts?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, the key question here is Travis's form, and he has the ability to win. He could beat anybody in the world on left arm potentially, but whether or not he is in that condition, that's the question that needs to be answered. We know Derek is a phenomenal arm wrestler. He's incredibly tall. He's strong. He's powerful. He's experienced, and it just which sort of Travis Bagent is going to turn up on the day.
Israel, my question for you, brother, is Derek Smith that went against Tim Bresnan shows up, meaning he comes in with the fire in his eyes and all. Who do you think gets the win?
Honestly, man, left-handed, I still think it's going to be Travis. I really do. I mean, I know Derek's left isn't where his right is, and Travis taking a match, I don't think Travis would take a match if he wasn't really ready. I really think he's a lot more ready than he leads on.
Well, I mean, I don't know so much about that, man, because we got to remember that Brandon Elsessor, he knew what he was doing that day. He thought he was going to come in off the couch and get the win, and, he was surprised by that. The only thing I got to say, though, is, I've been seeing every time he's on the podcast, he's been on that side pressure machine. And that's always been, a big thing for me to judge where Travis is at. I've been on his side pressure machine, and he makes it look very easy. He's just holding the weight there, and I've got on there and tried the weight that he just holds and makes look easy, and they're like, holy shit, this dude is a freak, man. So if he's been doing that and it's been consistent and he's been sticking with the training, he got a very dangerous Travis coming along. I think the key is going to be that explosive hit. He needs to get that. If Derek does stop it at all, I think it's going to be a bad day for Travis. So it's the best out of 5 in the Challenger Series. Is that right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
it is.
he's going to have 3 flash pins, man. If Derek gets that stop in any of those rounds, man, I think it could turn very ugly. What is your guys' thoughts on that? And you guys agree with that?
Yeah, it's always seemed to be the way with Travis. It's if he does get stopped, that he has another 2 seconds worth of energy in that round, and then it sort of gets turned around.
Yeah.
Well,
What's his endurance like between matches? Because some people gas out during the match, but then they get their 90 seconds and they come back just as strong as they were. Other people, it's the other way around. They gas out the first round and then they're just done. So I don't really remember, what is Travis's endurance like between rounds. Because if he can keep showing up at 100% round after round, then yeah, that's going to be tough.
I think he's got limited explosive power. I think he has to get through him without getting stopped at all. I think if he gets stopped and he has to start surging, I think his endurance is going to go to shit. You know, that's just me talking from when I seen him against Brandon Elsesser. He was breathing real heavy. I also know he wasn't trained up then, you know, so he's been put into training. But I question, you know, his endurance. I think his always strength was just that explosive hit. And if he thought the other guy was stronger, he's going to false start and he's going to take out as much as he can of that guy's power in that first false start. I think he's going to, you know, have to outsmart Derek that day as well. And, you know, I think, like I said, man, Derek just got to get that stop. And then I think it will turn into a war. But if he doesn't, and it's just 3 quick flash pins, then we know Travis is for real. He's back. He's got his explosive power back. And I'm going to be excited for that because we definitely want to see a trained up, real deal Travis Bajan making that comeback, man. That would be a great thing for our sport. Auden, I want to get your thoughts on this match, man. The Matt Mask versus Brad Grundy match. That one, I think, you know, a lot of people are underestimating that one just because, you know, everybody knows Matt Mask, but us Florida guys know Brad Grundy is no joke and just, you know, just leveling up so quickly these days. What's your thoughts, man? Who's going to be the favorite in that match?
I've got to give the edge to Matt. I have to, just by a little bit, though. I think Brad has a chance of performing very well. I mean, we saw what he did to Pavlo. He looked incredible. His technique looked real nice. But I think Matt's got to have the edge. He's too long. He's a bit too explosive. And he's a very good arm wrestler, too. So I think potential for a great match, but I have to lean towards Matt.
Odin, have you got to train with Matt at all?
Not really. Like I've felt his hand a bit when like sitting down in the restaurant, but no, nothing legit.
Okay. James, I know Matt is one of your favorite arm wrestlers. I remember that from one of our first interviews and all, and you were saying that was one of the guys you watched to get into the sport and all. What's your thought?
I didn't like him at first.
Yeah. And then I heard that you know, you weren't so much into him. What was up with that, you know?
Well, just because I was like, I didn't know much about the sport, so I just saw him, you know, kind of getting his feels after losing to Devin. And I'm like, oh, this, you know, I just thought he
Don't
was
fucking
like,
touch me. Don't fucking touch me.
yeah. I saw that. And then I read the comments and everyone was like, oh, Matt's such a crybaby. And I'm like, oh, okay, so we're not liking Matt. That's what we're doing. But then the more I kind of got into it and actually like saw the real fan base and not just like casual arm wrestlers and started watching him personally, I was like, oh, this guy's cool as fuck. He's actually really cool. But
do you know much about Brad's level of arm wrestling?
Do I?
Yeah.
Only from didn't Brad and Matt, they pulled already, but it was a lefty.
Left arm, yep.
It was left arm. And from what I remember, this is just left arm, but I don't think Brad had anything for Matt, did he?
I wouldn't say he didn't have anything for him.
He had some lanes for sure.
Yeah, it was a couple. It was a couple.
Yeah, but when Matt, and this is from months ago when I watched it, so I'm just recalling, but when Matt really set up well and hit with that explosive top roll, it was lights out. But then towards the end, didn't Matt like give him a hook and it was much harder or something like that?
Yeah, Matt went into his lane and Brad is strong.
Yeah. So, I mean, it really depends on the difference between left and right. And it depends how much better Brad's gotten since then. And it depends on if Brad can get into his lane. Because I know with left arm, and I know he's progressing fast, whatever, but with left arm against Matt seemed to be able to get into his top roll lane pretty easily. And, you know, it's hard when you got someone that tall and they're able to get your wrist back. If you're not able to pull without your wrist, it's very hard to come back from that. So it really just depends on, because these, you know, when you say you got someone who's progressing fast, it's hard to look at past matches and make predictions of current matches. Because if we did that, then we could look at Emil versus Auden and say, oh, Auden's going to lose because James beat Emil. To me, that my little practice match with Emil meant nothing. Like actually nothing, because I'm like, okay, Auden's obviously way fucking stronger now. So it doesn't really matter what I do to Emil. Even if I flash pinned him, it doesn't matter.
I was 176 when I pulled Emil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Emil's awesome though. I love that guy. Great guy. He's great character.
he's a good dude, and he's messaged me since, and he's just like very supportive, like
Really
looking
good dude.
here, James, trying to give me encouragement. But yeah, that's why it's like with certain people, if they're progressing really fast, you can't use past matches really as a gauge of how they're going to do now.
Let me ask you.
That's why it's really hard for me to determine the match with Auden, because it's like he's progressing really fast and I'm progressing really fast. So we're both, it's really hard to determine like whose level is going up faster. And if you start looking at matches from months ago, it's just kind of pointless.
Yeah, it's really hard to look at you guys, man. Well, Auden, we kind of have an idea of where his trajectory is going. With you, it's real hard because we haven't really got to see you compete in any super matches or, very many tournaments from, other than when you first begun. So we have no clue, and then when you throw in that you just beat Mika in some ready goes, you got my mouth down to the ground. I'm like, oh my God, dude, this
Have
dude.
you seen it, Paul?
You did send me a video. I think it was probably like 2 months back. And
No. This was like a week ago.
Okay, but I remember just what you sent me 2 months back. I was in shock, bro. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Was that against Mika?
Yes, that was against me.
That was left arm.
What was it again?
Left arm, I got him pretty good, but
Okay.
his left arm is way, way, way weaker than his right.
Bro,
He's all healed up now,
beating
right?
him-
He's mostly good.
Say that again,
What
Auden?
you said?
He's all healed up now, right? He's mostly good.
Yeah, his elbow's way better, but now I think his wrist from
Ah.
from tennis is bugging him.
Gotcha.
So he was able to get into his lane, but he wasn't able to let me get into my press lane. Because even before I applied pressure, if I just supinated and started to crunch down a little bit, he just gave up and he's like, no. And then I was like, dude, it's not worth it. I don't want to I want to pull with you again next week. I don't want something to snap on you this week. So we just stopped. But yeah, his right is so strong. It's crazy.
I want to ask Israel.
He's done, I think, 120 on the pronation lift as well. So he's got a really strong brachialis, bicep, hammer curl.
What's your PR on the pronation lift, James?
Well, I stopped doing the off the ground. I'd like to test it again just to see where it's at. But I'm gonna have to ask Lachlan if that's even a good idea. Because
I wouldn't do it until after your match.
Great idea. It's a great idea.
Doing the Devin Auden style of training up until maybe like early April.
Yeah.
And then that's when I switched over to Lachlan style. So I stopped doing the singles. It was just too much. My arm was so fucking fried. The last thing I could think about was coming home and hitting some heavy singles. I was just like,
what was the ending weight? What was your big number?
I think 106.5, something like that.
Okay.
But it was like, it was easy. I was trying to just bump up the weight every day without getting too close to failure. I really do think if I went balls to the wall, I could probably hit close to 120 right now.
Israel, what do you think, man? I'm pretty good right there at the beginning.
Dude, I gotta say, man, I recently started doing those lifts with Paul, and Paul's pretty fucking strong at those lifts, man. Those riser lifts and those pronation lifts. He surprised me.
Yeah, that was my first day, man, and I stopped at the 120, bro. And now hearing that you're over there, I'm like, holy shit! All right, man, I gotta keep going with this.
Well, we're gonna have to pull, man, because that's what matters.
Hell yeah! Well, I need about 3 months, man. I keep telling everybody this. I'm working to get down to that 176, but since like the 3-4 years I've been, I never stop table time. And, I felt like I was just always recovering and never getting gains in the workouts. Well, the last like month and a half, I've just, really minimal table time. Me and Israel got on this past weekend, but before that really wasn't anything. And I can't believe every workout I'm going up, and I'm like, yo, this is what I need to do. I know how to arm wrestle now. I just gotta build up the certain areas for my moves and all, and that's what I'm going to plan on doing for the next 3 months. So I'm going to kind of keep the table time to very minimum, help out Israel and my team whenever I can, but I'm just going to focus on all the arm wrestling lifts and really just look to get strong. And then after that, man, I'd love to get some pulling with you, James. I know we're in the same state, only a few hours drive away, so we could definitely go back and forth with that. The other thing is, I want to find out, man, James, you get this win against Odin. What's next, bro? Who's next? That's a better question.
Bodybuilding, baby.
So you're going back to bodybuilding?
November. Yeah.
Okay, so what show do you got going on in November? What's
It's
going on there?
a pro show and it's called the Tri-City something or other. I don't know. I need to look at it again. It's the last pro show of the year, so I'm on a time crunch. I got the match with Auden, and then I come home and like 10 days later I'm getting gyno surgery. And then I gotta heal from that as fast as I can and then start prep
So
for
just so everybody knows, I just want to catch everybody up on what gyno surgery is and all. It's when you get the fat around the nipples and all. You know, some people get it from extra estrogen levels and not taking anti-estrogens and all. So that's a way that you could get rid of that for good. You know, that it'll never grow back or whatever. So that might be some if you guys are interested. Maybe hit up James and you could get some info on it. I also did it back when I was a fitness model many years ago. Everybody thought I was crazy. I seen it, in myself, and I just wanted to get it removed. And everybody, like, even when I went to the doctor, he's like, "Bro, you could hardly even notice this." I was like, "Yeah, but I notice it, and I do a lot of fitness photo shoots and all, and it was just one of those psychological things. So I had it done. I think it cost me, I think it was like 12,000-13,000 back then and all.
that's how
But
much it costs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Definitely the best thing to do. If you have any of that fat around there, it never comes back. Once you get rid of it, it's gone for good. So I wish you the best quick recovery on that, because that's gonna put you out like 2-3 months, right?
I
No, not that long.
speed up that process for sure.
What's like the normal recovery time? Because it was so
They
many.
say 4 to 6 weeks, but that's for the average person who's not taking peptides and growth hormone.
Taking a
I
vial
have a
of
really close
BPC a
friend,
day.
really close friend who did it, and it was like 3 weeks and he's back to training, and no peptides, no nothing, just totally
Yeah.
natural. Did it a
I
couple
know
weeks later.
that I know Joe Aesthetics, who also he had mutant genetics, but he was back in the gym in like a few days, training light arms.
See,
But
I believe that, I listened to the doctor then, and now I'm learning, even like when I went to get the surgeries, you could speed up the process a lot. If you just listen to them, they're giving you the slowest possible time and all. And now that I look back, I probably would have went a lot faster, knowing what I know these
well, you
days.
just can't. The only thing you got to worry about is just ripping the stitches and ripping the tissue that's been healed up. So as long as you're not training chest or back, you can hit some arms. Think about it. Your chest isn't. If you're doing bicep curls, your chest isn't moving. If you're doing tricep extensions, your chest isn't moving. Leg extension, same thing. So
That's
you can
exactly
definitely
that's what I'm saying there. But when you go to the doctor, they make it like, oh, bro, you can't lift 5 pounds.
Oh,
You can't.
yeah. Well, you just got to be in touch with your body and know, if there's pain or not. You just don't do dumb shit, basically.
Yes.
But I
Okay.
want to loop back around to something, Mr. Italia.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that guy, but the Devin lift, right? The pronation lift. There is a way to do it, and there's a way not to do it. And I'm curious, do you have a video of the 120?
I think we have. Yeah, I think Israel. We got something. We
We have
did.
videos of some of the lifts, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I
What is
want
it?
to
The
add
question of
about
how
all
I did it, or what do you want to know?
I'm curious, not because I don't believe you. I definitely believe you did it. I'm curious because cupping in a little bit, or letting your pronation open up a little bit, or letting your riser dump a little bit, or having an internal, starting like this rather than starting straight forward. All of these things change. And you want to
No, I know what you're saying. So Israel was the one that set me up, and we did it with the straight wrist. And when I got up to the 120, my wrist dumped. That the riser was not engaged. Before that, when I did the 100 pounds, my riser stayed engaged and it was straight up. But when I got to 120, I got it up, but it did dump. That was definitely me redlining, seeing white spots and everything.
And it was his first time doing the lift too.
Yeah, I never did that before, bro. That was the first one. And when I watched Israel go next, I thought he was fucking with me. He kept saying, he's like, "Oh, bro, that's insane, bro. I can't believe you're." And I'm looking at him like, really? Like, for real? And then when he went to do it and he didn't put it up, I was like, oh my God. That's when I realized, like, okay, I might be good at this. I think they did really good on my surgery. They put the 10 in the right spot.
I think there's a couple things people always like when you're talking about the pure pronation lift or rise lift or singles in general. People don't understand how important arm length is. Like I have so many of my friends who have like little short arms and they can do just stupid numbers on rise, stupid numbers on roll, and then you feel them on the table and it's like, okay, you're not even moving me. And then there's guys who are like even longer arm than me, and they do like 70 pounds, and I'm like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think it's hard to really compare the lifts properly. I feel like some really smart guys got to like calculate arm length and hand length and stuff and come up with like a formula for like total force exerted. Otherwise, like these numbers we're sharing.
It's distance from your elbow to your thumb, and then there is actually a simple formula, and I forget per inch it's like 5% harder or something. I can't remember exactly what the number is, but there is a formula. You're right.
Really?
That's why when
I find that so difficult because like, what about hand length? What about like where the strap
hand length
is
doesn't matter
laying?
as much because think about it. If the weight's getting wrapped around here, my fingers could be 20 feet long. The weight's still getting wrapped around here.
True.
So it's the
Some
distance
length as well, though.
Yeah, it's the distance from your thumb bone, basically, where the weight's being applied to your elbow. Now, that's why when I pulled Mika, to me, that I think it was 120 pronation lift that he did was really big to me because he's got a really fucking long arm.
Yeah.
Like imagine it's as long as Auden's just from seeing it. If Auden's got a longer arm than Mika, I'm gonna be really surprised. And he's got big ass hands.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
That's
I believe him, man. He looks just like Devin. When you see Odin next to Devin recently, man, like even the hands, and I noticed that he's definitely very long. Definitely.
Yeah.
James just got a little nervous, man. I can tell in the tone of his voice.
Because Auden's around, I mean, not Auden. Mika's around 6'2", and Auden, you're 6'3"?
6'3", a bit. Last time I measured 6'3", but like I know I've grown since then.
He's 6'5".
Yeah, but a puppy, man, growing into everything.
270.
Long and yeah, man. He's
well, we'll see. We'll see.
we'll see. So let's go. We got a couple more that we got to touch on, and one of those is we got Andrei Sharkovich going against what's his first name? Extrom? I forgot. Is that Pork Chop?
No, he's the guy from that trains with Chance Shaw.
And sure,
Emil Extrom.
Emil Extrom.
Yeah.
Wanted to get your guys' opinion on that match, man. How do you think that goes? Israel, what's your thoughts?
Oh, well, I'm gonna tell you something. Emil was he came out to the US a couple years ago when he was doing his training camp with Chance Shaw.
Yep.
And I think he only competed in a local Florida tournament, I think. But he was sweeping everyone left and right. I mean, he was just going through everybody. The dude is a tank.
You know what, bro? I think I might have been at that one. That might have been the one that I pulled in 1 to 5 classes at the FAL. That was when the Swedish girls came in, Ebba, and went against Merlin. I believe, yeah, I think that was that day.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'm not sure if they had the match that day, but I do know that he did compete there at the FAL. It might have been that one. And yeah, man, the dude was crushing it, just killing everyone. I believe he's like a 210, 215 guy.
Okay. And how do you think he does against Andre? Because we also know Andre is one of the top dogs in Florida, and how many people?
Did you guys see
not
that
many
match
people know him
between...
out of Florida, but us Florida guys know that dude is top of the food chain for sure.
And I don't know if you guys saw, but he just in an overall, he just took down Jerome Loud as well.
Oh wow! Okay.
So the dude is looking, serious.
Well, you see who his training partners are, man. He got that beast Dane Sellers down in
that guy Dane Sellers, man, is a monster.
And Maximilian from originally from Washington. So, those guys are training weekly over there. So he's got a nice training team to train with. So who do you think gets the win?
Man, honestly, I don't know. I think I'm hoping Andre gets the win. I want to see the guy living in America winning, but I don't know. Emil is a tough competitor. It's going to be a good match.
Odin, what's your thoughts on that match, man?
I'm not too familiar with Emil. I know Andrei Sharkovich. Andrei's incredible. I have to go with him because I'm not so familiar with the other guy. And I mean, I've seen how well he's done. So yeah, we'll see.
James, your thoughts on this match, man?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not familiar with either one of these people as well as I should be.
James, you should definitely check out Andre, especially when you're in Florida with him. And he's another.
No, I've heard of him, but I just haven't seen enough content to enough of the matches to be able to make a prediction here. Nice. So I'm just gonna withdraw.
He's also another big YouTuber. Also, I think he's up there over 100,000 subs. And
oh, really?
Yeah, he's both in the fitness world and in arm wrestling. So definitely take a look at his stuff. Matt, do you have any prediction on this one?
Yeah, it's Andre for me as well. I'm just wondering, Paul, there, Where are you from? Are you from New York? Are you from California? From Florida? It's funny because every time you say, "Oh, us Florida guys," and it's like us California guys, and it's like,
So I live in
which one are you
all three.
from?
I live in all three places, man. That's my triangle. So I got a place in each one. But I'm originally from New York. I mean, you could tell from my voice and accent. I'm a New York heart. But yeah, I consider myself New York, Cali, and Florida. So I refer to as us guys.
I think it's fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. No, Andre's the win for me. But yeah, if Emil is good enough, man, it's this is opportunity. It's one of those things. You get somebody with a big following, big audience, and you can take them down. It's like you can springboard off of their momentum.
I will say this, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Emil Ekstrom's strong arm is his left, and Andre is right-handed, I believe.
Okay, well, Andre, I think both arms, man.
Both arms, yeah. I mean,
because
yeah, he's a monster, both arms.
he was in that round robin I threw in Washington. Me and Tim Talmadge, we threw a 4-way round robin, and he did very well. That was with Brandon Alcessor, Jordan Sill, and Jacob Abbott, and
Wow.
he came in second at
now that you mentioned that, Paul, it's a good time to bring it up. Arizona State is this weekend, and Tim Talmadge and Lorraine Jenkins are having a 220-pound round robin there. And I wanted to go ahead and read off the competitors just to see what you guys think. So we got
this one
Brent.
is fire, man. This is this is going to be great to see because Lorraine Jenkins has been putting these amazing round robins together, and now he's teaming up with other productions, and this is a great thing to see. We know Arm Sports Entertainment, Tim Talmadge his baby, and he's got his big event every year that he does over in AZ, the AZ states, and I think Friday they're going to have the 220 round robin, and I'm going to let Israel read off the competitors, which this one is exciting.
Yeah, man, these names are crazy. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with Brent Rockers. We got Andre Shark. We got Craig Tulier coming up from the 190 round robin that he won. We got Roger Kangingham. We have a fellow named Arsen Kachatrian, Jordan Sill, Bo Olson, Michael Bedwell, Ronnie Morales. We have one of our fellow teammates, Ryan Ballesteros, competing in there.
That's our man, Ryan. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We got Ryan Bellinger and AJ Henson.
Damn, bro, that is a lineup that is just absolutely stacked. And the one thing that I noticed in there is you said Craig Tulier, and we know that Craig Tulier won the 198 round robin. And I gotta say, man, he's looking like one of the favorites to pull off this 220-pound round robin as well. What's your guys' thoughts on that, man? Let's start off with Auden. Do you think that
Craig to win the whole thing, but that is an incredible class. I think. I mean, Craig, everybody knows Craig Tulier is incredible. Yeah. Super strong. I got to meet him when I was down at the Vitalii event, and I felt his hand. For a guy of his weight class, he's so strong.
What's his height, Auden?
Same height as you, man. I think he's like 5'9". I think he's right. Yeah. He's got a build like you, James. We're pretty.
Yeah, no, I've seen his stuff. I wasn't sure how tall he was.
No, he's really good. He's really, really good. Yeah.
Auden, who
he's one of those guys where you just feel them and they feel just solid all the way through. Just like you're grabbing onto steel. It's like, oh, man.
You can see it in the way he pulls, man. He looks like steel pulling.
Yeah, he really is.
Who's going to be the biggest threat to him winning that day?
There's a couple guys, honestly. There's a couple guys up there. I can't remember the whole list, but I heard Jordan Sill's in there. Jordan's great. There's a lot of guys. Like I know Andre Chukovich could mess up that class as well. There's a lot of guys in that round robin that, oh man.
The one that's sticking out to me big time, man, that I really excited to see them square off is Brett Rutgers against Craig Tulier.
Yes.
I think that might be the one right there. That I think could decide who's going to be the winner that day, man. What do you think on that, Matt? Are you excited about that, the round robin? And how do you think it goes between Craig Tulier and a Brett Rutgers match?
Yeah, I always love round robins. I love the fact that every guy's going to match up against each other person in the division, and you're going to get a result. And then there's no sort of question as to, oh, but, say a tournament, well, if he went against him, maybe it would have been a different winner and all the rest of it. It's like everyone went against everyone and you got a result. The only question is like the sort of the draw and where you get to meet up with somebody and whether you're exhausted by the time you get there. But love round robins, especially the fact you get so many matches on top of that. But yeah, Craig Tullier, got to be the favorite for that. I mean, the guy is looking absolutely phenomenal at this point in time, winning the weight class below and then going, you know what, that's not enough for me. I'm going to go up and I'm going to try and win that one as well. So incredible.
Hell yeah, man. I can't wait for this one. James, what's your thoughts, man? Do you have any favorites in this round robin? You had to pick one.
Yeah, I don't recognize the full list. Just
Okay.
Jordan and Craig Tullier, but thank you so much.
Is Auden on here?
Yeah. You gonna
Hi,
talk
hi.
your shit?
There it is.
My girlfriend.
How you doing?
She's
Who's gonna win that day? Do we believe James is gonna get the win against Auden?
James is gonna kick my ass, Jenna. He's gonna kick my ass.
I'm not gonna lie, he's been really eating lately and he's been training really hard. So this is the most passionate I've seen him about something in a really long time.
That's
So
true.
I'm excited.
Wow.
It's gonna be a fun day.
Well, it's good to hear that, James. And, hearing that, I want to ask you, this is probably the first time that you really take arm wrestling serious to this degree, right? To the point that you're waking up, you're training for it avidly, and, you're really taking it down as an athlete. Is this experience something that you feel like you'll want to repeat again in the future? Like, do you see yourself coming back to arm wrestling more seriously than you have in the past?
She wants me to fucking lose, bro. She got me a 6-inch. Fuck. What's she on a budget? What the fuck is this, dude? Yeah, no, I'm definitely coming back, bro. Regardless, I mean, if I just get walked, then maybe I'll reconsider my life choices. But even if I lose, but it's like close, and I'm like, oh, I just need more experience, or I see where my weakness is, and I'm like, okay, I can work on that easily. Then yeah, I'm not giving up. No, it's just like once this is done, I cannot sustain this frequency and intensity and table time and all that with bodybuilding. So I can do both, but I'm gonna need to cut down on arm wrestling a bit for sure. But I still will be going to practice every week. That's the most important.
Okay, so let's ask this question then. So you get the win against Auden, and then you got your big event going in bodybuilding in November. When would you go for your next match? Would you look for another super match? Would you look just to compete in tournaments? What would be the plan after that?
I would still be training on prep for bodybuilding. Just wouldn't be going as hard. And the closer I got to my show, the less I'd be training. 10 weeks out from my show, I'm still going to be training hard. 2 weeks out, not going to be probably doing that much arm wrestling, but I'm still going to be getting stronger. It's not that fucking hard to do. I know you say that like you got to commit yourself to one or the other. Bro, sure, yes, but I have my own feeling on that. And I can get really good at both, so I don't want to pick one. And after I do my show, I'll probably be down to around low 190s. So I could try to do like a 198 super match somewhere.
Let me ask you this now. You get in there and you get spanked 3 flash pins, Odin goes right through you.
No chance.
What is your thoughts after that, man? Now, do you look to take another super match? Do you say to yourself, I need to compete more in tournaments? Like,
I'm focusing on the fucking Olympia at that point, bro. Fuck arm wrestling. I'm done.
Oh, man. Odin, you got to let him win one round, bro. We can't lose him here, man.
No. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm not gonna, if I'm not genetically made for arm wrestling, I'm not gonna fight an uphill battle. But if I feel like I can be really good,
no, man, this is not what I want to hear, bro. This is not what you're scaring me right now.
You want me to lie, bro?
I'm telling you, man, because you need experience, so you're going against, one of the best, man. He's getting trained by his father, Devin, right? Don't set your expectations too high, man. If you do get a loss, you got to stick with this, bro.
I don't care if I get a loss. I'm talking about getting walked. Like I'm not even there. Auden just laughs in my face and goes, haha.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If what happened to the Whisper against Odin happens to you, is that what you're saying, getting whopped? Like, is that total domination?
No, like I probably wouldn't actually quit, but I would definitely reconsider like how much effort do I want to put into this. You know,
Mm.
if I can't get a stop, like Whisper couldn't get a stop, and there was a big weight difference there, or a significant one. If I can't get a stop, like I don't think that's gonna happen though. I'm just saying if it were to happen, yeah, of course it would make me reconsider like what am I doing here for real?
Okay, okay. But I'm telling you, man, this is one of those things. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. So, just I feel like if it does happen and you do get flashed, all you got to do, brother, is a couple of tournaments, tighten up a couple of things, and you're right back in a good light. So
Let's hope I don't get flash pinned, bro.
that's what I'm here now praying that does not happen, man. And Auden, please, if you do feel that like there's a big gap, please don't start talking to him and make him end arm wrestling. Please make
No,
it
do
feel
what
like it
you
was a
gotta
lot
do
closer.
to make it a good scene, bro.
Yeah. No, James is invested, man. Like he's put a lot into this, so he's coming into it with heart. Like nobody wants to train for really hard for a long time and then just get mopped. Like I understand what he's saying, but
But
at
you
the same
got to be
time,
prepared in
I
arm
know, but
wrestling.
he doesn't look
too,
like a
man.
quitter, man. I think he could. I think he could get flash pin 3-0 and it would just light a fire under his ass. I don't think he's.
That could happen.
Yeah,
That could happen.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't
Jumping
wait.
into the deep end, mate. Yeah, going against a guy with a lot of experience. But yeah, hats off to you for doing it.
For real. For real.
Yeah, man. And I don't know. I've seen you on the table. You definitely look like you're an arm wrestler, dude. You're starting to look really connected on the table. You don't look like a little noob who doesn't really know what they're doing, leaving their whole wrist behind,
No. I think it'll be a good match. I don't think I'm gonna get flash pinned.
Good. So,
Yeah.
guys, before we call the end of the night, I just want to touch on a couple of matches that are going to go down this weekend over at King of Table. So definitely Saturday, you want to tune in, get your pay-per-view, get over to Core Sports and definitely order that. What's the price for this one? Do you guys know offhand?
What was the last
Last
one?
time
Was
I
like
checked, it was
9.95 or
$9.99.
something.
$9.90. Wow, that's a good deal for these matches. We got some good matches on
But
this
that
one.
was like pre-order or whatever the fuck. I don't know if that's still active.
Okay. Well, the match that I want to make mention of is, we got James's coach, Lachlan Adair, going against Paul Linn. And, I'm going to start off with James because these guys got both, powerlifting and bodybuilding background. So I feel like, he'll have some knowledge on this one. How do you think this one turns out? Who gets the win that day? Obviously, you want your man, Lachlan. He's helping you out as well. But who do you
You're
think?
asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you, James.
Bro, I want Lachlan to win. I know Paul Lynn's American, but I'm a dual citizen of Australia. So
Oh.
my dad's Australian, so I'm allowed to root for whoever the fuck I want in this match. I gotta go with the Australian. I really like Paul Linn, but I haven't met him. And Lachlan I know personally, so I really think Lachlan can win, but you can't sleep on Paul either. He's just so fucking strong, dude. He just looks freaky. You can just see the strength when you look at him.
And traps, bang, bang.
Yeah, and just the fucking skin being all like shrink wrapped to him, and just like he looks like he's constantly in a state of hypertension. And it's like, bro, relax. Like, holy shit. But then he's like super, soft spoken and mild mannered and really smart. So I think Paul Lynn's awesome. I think Lachlan's probably gonna win it. Lachlan's so strong, dude. He's so strong. Maybe I'm biased because I pulled him. And Paul Linn would stonewall me just as much as Lachlan does, but still, just seeing his progression and seeing his lifts, I don't know. It's going to be an inside battle. And Lachlan's strong there. So, yeah.
Auden, what's your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I agree with James. Paul Lynn's super awesome, super strong. I just have to go Lachlan. I've got to go Lachlan. I just think he's slightly better. And at this weight, he looks very comfortable. In the supers, he was obviously uncomfortable. He talked about it, how he didn't really like to be there. And then he made, like the last one where he pulled Devin, he looked great. He looked healthy. He didn't breathe too hard. He looked really good. So I think we're going to see a very dominant version of Lachlan in these weight classes. I've got to go with Lachlan. I have to. It's a close match, though.
Matt, what are your thoughts, man? I know Lachlan is your countryman, but are you going to go with Paul Linn or Lachlan on this one?
No, I think we were talking about this a week or two ago that both guys almost feel like they've got the same stats, like they're both sort of the same build, you know, incredibly strong. They're very have the ability to adapt to what the other person is doing. I think it's going to come down to the mental attitude or just timing the starts, getting that set up. I think in terms of physical ability, they both have the ability to win the match. I think it just comes down to who does the 1% moves better. And I think that Lachlan is so dialed in on being the best arm wrestler he possibly can. He's moved down in weight class. You know, he's freed up some more room with his shoulder. He said he was sort of, you know, with such a large chest and shoulder, he was restricted in terms of his flexibility. But having moved down about 10 kilos, which is what, 20 pounds, 22 pounds, he has more movement there. So yeah, it'll be a really big win for Lachlan if he gets this, and I know that he's been training very, very hard for it. So I'm excited to see the match. And
He looks
yeah, I wouldn't
healthier,
be.
Matt, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Like
that's right.
he
Yeah,
just looks more like athletic. I saw an old video of him from 6 months ago or whatever, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy was a bit chunky. He looks like a prime athlete now.
exactly.
Yeah,
He got rid
to
of
get
all
in that
the
super heavyweight
unnecessary
class.
weight.
Yeah, he had a pile on the size, and you
Yeah.
know, sure the pancakes. You know, you probably had to increase the amount of pancakes. So as we know in arm wrestling, the less pancakes you could do, the lot safer it is on your tendons, the lot more healthy it is. And I mean, just probably his explosion and power probably increased that much as well. The other thing that is something to make note of is he's got a new training partner, and that being that guy Ricket. And
Oh yeah, Borman. Holy shit, bro.
that's got to be pretty substantial, having that much more power to train with. That's not taking away from Ryan Bowen, because we know Ryan Bowen is he is really leveling up and getting tremendously strong, but that dude Ricker, man, looks like he's on a whole nother level. And to be tugging with Lachlan all the time, I think that's going to bring Lachlan to a whole nother level as well. And what's your thoughts on that, Matt?
Yeah, it's so good. This is one of the things that Lachlan was talking about when that sort of video of Rickard getting the pins on him in after the tournament at the AWE Grand Prix. He's excited because it's like, now we've got a proper super heavyweight in Australia that can really challenge me and really start pushing me to that next level. And, iron sharpens iron. When you've got somebody that maybe is stronger than you in certain moves, it's going to make you better because you're going to have to figure out, well, how do I stop them from getting there? Or how do I get stronger than them? Whereas if you're the dominant guy and you're always beating everybody, it's kind of hard to continue to improve and continue to improve your level. But so excited for Ricket Bornan, and yeah, we've got some big things lined up for him, which we'll be announcing soon, but not just yet. But I think you'll see him on a big stage very shortly.
He started a year ago, right?
Yeah, it's
That's
insane.
fucked. That is fucked, bro. That is so fucked. Like imagine coming in from rugby, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine
Yeah,
coming in from rugby and being like, "Oh, I'll fuck around with arm wrestling," and then doing it for a year and beating Lachlan. Like
his first night at he went along to the club, the Kingpins Club, which is Ryan Bowen, Lachlan Adair, Marcus Tirai, a whole bunch of very, very top level guys in Australia. First night there, and he's getting pins on all these guys, and he's pushing Ryan and he's pushing Lachlan for his first bloody time. It was like, what the hell is this?
that is insane, dude.
Yeah.
That's unreal, and I can't wait to see what you guys got in store for him, man. I know you guys got some big plans, and I'm sure you're gonna have some big matches going on at AWE. Can't wait to see that, bro, for sure.
Yeah.
Israel, I want to get your thoughts on this big match that they just announced as well, and that's Vitalii versus Camille, left hand. Who wins?
Oh man, that Camille guy is just he's like a knife through butter, man, with that press, especially left-handed. I really think that we have a runner-up for probably the best press in arm wrestling. Seeing his match against Devin, the way that those guys captured Camille, just not giving Devin a single, like Devin is the master at getting something in the setup. And with that guy, it just seemed like no matter what he did, his arm was going down, which I know it was left arm, but it's still the same brain, the same way he arm wrestles, and it's just crazy to see. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really think Camille is the favorite.
Damn.
I agree.
Odin, I want to hear from you, man, and I want to hear what is your dad think on this match? What is his prediction on this? Because he has some experience going against Camille left arm.
So my dad's pretty split. He's pretty split. He doesn't know who's going to win. He really likes Vitalii, and same thing for me. I think Vitali's awesome. Vitalii definitely has more. He's got more tools. He's got more probably hand control. He's got more top roll. He's probably a little bit faster outside at least. But the thing is that flop is an ace against long arm top rollers. Guys who don't really have much of it inside, which Vitali's kind of untested there because he's always going out. We might see a press in Vitalii. That would be incredible, but we haven't really seen it yet. We haven't really seen it. So I have to go with Camille. I have to, just because that style matchup is so nice for him. He is a master at getting that strap and then just being too powerful. When you meet him in person, he's the widest guy I've ever met by a lot. Like, he's so wide. He's like double me. It's so strange just being near him. He's an incredible arm wrestler. I have to go with Camille. I have to.
Yeah, I was making mention that when you see him in video, he doesn't really look as impressive as when you see him in person. And I've got to see him a bunch of times in person, and I couldn't get over how big he is. You know, he's right the same size as Devin. I mean, the dude is just a monster, and he's wider, like Odin was saying. James, what's your thoughts, man? Because I know you're also a presser, you know, so we know Camille's got that nasty left arm press. Who do you think is going to be the favorite that day against him versus Vitalii?
Yeah, I mean, the antidote to a press is speed. That you can say like it's, you know, like a high hook or going inside or going press on press, but really it all boils down to speed. Because if that presser, and a lot of pressers are really explosive, so they tend to have the speed edge, and it just surprises people, and they can just go boom and get into that lane, and they're already your arm's already halfway down to the pad by the time you've even, you know, your muscles have even tensed up. But Vitali's also fast. And if he can just really work the starts and maybe just false start just enough where it's not called, and he can just budge Camille out of that lane, then I see a chance for him. But the problem is Camille, he's a flop presser with a really long arm. So he can press from any, you can drag him out as much as you want. And because his arm is so long, he's still gonna be able to press from there. Someone with a shorter arm, it's like if you get them really far out here, they're done. They can't do anything from there. If you have a really long arm, you can just go, you know, get over the table and just keep going. And that's why, like, for me, it really depends on how fast Vitalii is and how much he can get Camille out of his shoulder. Because he's going to have to get him really far out to have any chance. Because if he only budges him a little bit out, Camille can still press from there. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a clear favorite in this one. I'd say before I heard everyone here, I would have given the edge to Vitalii. But now, after hearing Auden, after hearing you guys, I'm like, oh shit, I don't actually know. Because Camille, he does like that long arm press. You'd think having a shorter arm is better because it's like a smaller moment arm, but there's advantages to having a long arm for sure in a press. Especially being able to get, like, if you're a supinated over the top presser, having a long arm is amazing. You can just chop down on someone's pronation and then they're just fucked. If they're a top roller, they're fucked. But that only works.
The other thing is that the setup for Vitalii, with being such a long arm, he's going to be already opened up a lot more. So it's going, you know, where we see how Camille's practically in that flop press from the beginning in the setup, which, you know, I think he's even faster with getting behind that shoulder than Jerry is. You know,
yeah, no, he's super fast. How is Camille's endurance? Can he keep pressing like Jerry?
Good. It's good.
It's good.
His
Okay,
endurance
then I
is
think
crazy.
I think we're gonna have to see a press from Vitalii. I think we're gonna have to see him. This is just my prediction. I think we're gonna have to see him budge Camille out of his lane so that Camille has to kind of regroup and take a second. And then we're gonna have to see Vitalii come in and press down. And I don't even remember the last time I saw Vitalii do that. So that's got to be something that he's training. Because if not, I think even if he does get Camille out of his shoulder, I think Camille's just going to regroup and Vitalii's going to be sitting there waiting for fucking doom. And then his arm's just going to go down. So, yeah, we're going to have to see some variety from Vitalii rather than just a top roll.
One thing you have
to be a really, really strong top roller to be a good flop presser. You have to have an incredible top roll to just top roll someone out of a flop press.
I agree with that. And I would have to say, though, Vitali's got to know what he's going to be doing. You know, he just got to see Camille at Knuckles up 3, and he went against Merle, and he tried in that first round, he tried doing a top roll, and it just wasn't successful at all. And he then resorted back to his press. So Vitalii had to watch that and, you know, has to know that he doesn't have to worry about that top roll at all. So he's yeah, he knows that Camille's going all in on the press and all. So I'm sure he's gonna have his own, you know, game plan how to deal with that. Now to see if it actually work, it'll be a different story. Matt,
I think if we do see that like, because if you can, you know, open someone's hand up and then press them, that's what Devin did to Hermes, and you saw how effective that was. Doesn't matter how much Hermes can lift. Devin popped his fucking wrist back, transitioned, and boom, and that was it. If Vitalii can do the same thing, I think he's gonna have to press to finish it. I don't see him, you know, doing what Hermes did to Jerry with like a high hook and being. I just don't see that happening. I think it's gonna have to be a top roll and then quickly transition. Maybe that would be really cool. That would be a fucking epic match if that happened, because we haven't seen it really.
I want to ask this question to Matt. Say Camille beats Vitalii with the left arm. Who would you like to see Camille go against next? Because obviously then we know that he's definitely in the top of the food chain with the left arm. Who would you like to see him go against then after that?
Well, I'm sort of excited about Travis's comeback on left. I want to see how serious he is with it, because this guy could you know have the potential to be #1 in the world anytime he sort of commits and goes 100% at it. I'm really interested to see what happens with him and Derek Smith, because I'm like, maybe this is something that could happen in the future with Camille. But yeah, Camille's press is just unbelievable. I mean, he's just beating everyone with it. Everyone knows what he's going to do, and they can't stop it. And I don't know what he was doing that first round in Knuckles Up. Was the top roll, or I don't think he knew what he was doing. And it just changed to, okay, I'm gonna forget whatever that was, and I'll just go back to my original game plan of pressing, which is what won him the match and what he should do. But you know, I'd even is Jerry any good on his left? Like, I'd like to see that, maybe a press versus press or something like that.
No, Jerry's definitely not your left hand guy. But you know, the match that you said would be you know, Travis versus Camille, maybe if Travis gets that win against Derek. And you know, that would be very interesting, because we do know that Travis did figure out the formula to Jerry at the end. You know, he figured out how to deal with that flop press. So if Travis is, you know, indeed back at that top level, elite level, you know, that could be a possible good match down the line. I just don't think he's ready yet. You know, I would like to see, you know, Travis go against Derek, you know, and then I think he's got that other match at East versus West. I forgot who against, but I think they have him going against somebody else. And then after that, if Travis does walk away with those 2 wins, I'd like to see him go against Devin first. I'd like to see a left hand, you know, Devin versus Travis. And then
Devin's also cutting down a ton, isn't he?
Yeah, that
Travis is still like super heavy or close to it.
Yeah, but I think with the, you know, with the gap and all, and how long that, you know, Devin's been training, and, you know, Travis making that comeback, I still think that match makes sense. You know, even with Devin being a little lighter and all, I think that would be a good one. What's you guys' thoughts on that? You know, if Devin's in the lighter weight class, but we still make that match happen, do you think that could be a good one? Let me ask that question.
Maybe, but you know, Devin was saying he's easy 105 now, maybe 95. No, I don't want to see Devin 95 versus a big heavy Travis. I don't want, because
I don't think he's getting down to 95, man.
I think he could.
I wouldn't be so sure. I wouldn't be so sure.
Auden, yeah, you think that there's a possibility 95 kilograms?
I think with a proper water cut, likely 95 kilos not out of range.
Yeah, it's not, dude. That's not, fuck. You kidding?
What is the pounds? 95 kilograms? What is that?
Have you seen how UFC fighters fucking cut, bro?
207,
it's possible, man.
205, Devin? What?
It'd be 209.
209, sorry.
Yeah. So let's just round up to 210. I mean, that's totally possible. And look, what's the weigh-in? Is it 24-hour weigh-in?
Yeah. You got more than that, actually. You got like 36.
Yeah, I mean, you guys watch UFC at all? You see how much these guys they will cut from like 180 down to 135. And then they'll be like 170 in the octagon. It's insane what you can do in 24 hours. Like
they say 10% of your body weight, easy, like easy water cut.
Yeah.
And my dad right now is walking around like 240, so that would bring him down to like almost 220.
Yeah, yeah.
And that last 10 pounds, like I'm talking 10% easy. So that we'll see. We'll see how it all goes.
Yeah, just a water cut from 244 down to 209 would be tough. But if Devin just cut like regular cut food a little bit and cut carbs for a while because carbs hold water, and then do a water cut from there, like cut down to 230 and then water cut, there you go.
But how about that? You guys are going that way. I'd rather see this. Let's stay at the 240 right now. Let's get Travis to come and cut down like 10 pounds. Let's get him at 250 and let's see this match, man, because I think this is going to put on so many eyes on the sport. You got the two best trash talkers ever to live in arm wrestling, and it's like, I think that's just exciting, and we don't need them at the exact same weight. I just want to see it happen. What's your thoughts on that, Matt? Would you like to see that possibly happen in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime I see Travis pull, I wanna watch it. Same with Devin. And you put the two of them together, you expect Fireworks is going to be as you said, the two biggest personalities in front of a camera getting on the table with each other, and everyone's going to want to watch it. The only issue I've had with it, I've seen both these guys pull before, and there was one match which is still on YouTube, and the first round to get them set up, it took 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I want that. That's what I want. And I want to see Jody and Devin's corner. I want to hear her yelling, and I want to hear the back and forth with all that. Like, that would be amazing to me. I would love to see that. And I got to ask Odin, how does that go, man? Let's just say that Dad's at 240. Let's say Travis is at 260. Left arm.
Are we talking right or left?
Left arm.
Left arm. Okay. It's hard to say. It's really, really hard to say because I just don't know where my dad's left's going to be at in a bit. I mean, I would think my dad would have to have the edge, but it just depends how back Travis really is. Like, if he is really like totally back to where he was, he might be the favorite. A lot is going to be revealed in the next couple matches when he pulls Derek, and then when he pulls Kalinchenko. We're going to be able to tell.
Guys, let me remind you, because you guys are forgetting some easy basics here. We've seen Travis, not too long, within the last 6 months in some of his tournaments that he's thrown. And we've seen, with Paul Talbot kind of slowed him down a little. And so you guys got to keep that context in mind. Let's not just forget where Travis been recently, and let's just put him back on the elite stage that he was once at. 2 years ago, he lost to Brandon Elsesor. Within the last 6 months, we've seen Paul Talbot giving him a little problems with the left, slowing him down. He did get the win, but like I said, he had a surge through him. I think it was like two, three surges until he finally got the win. So he wasn't at that elite door 6 months ago. So just let's keep that in context. Let's put Travis too much on a pedestal, man, because we don't want to expect too much from that. But I think it would be a good one with this build-up, this slow build-up. He's got Derek Smith. Who is the other guy he's going against in
Kalinchenko?
Sergey
Kalinchenko.
How does that go? What is your guys' thoughts on that? Who is the favorite in that match?
The thing is, it's the same thing every time. Is Travis really back? Because we've seen him compete and we've seen him do all these different things. And the issue is now that he's like Travis showing up and Travis really being back is different. Like, we saw him when he pulled Brandon and he looked like he just rolled off the couch and competed. Like, if he shows up like legit, I just don't see many guys like beating him if he's actually good. But we have no idea where he is, so it's hard to really.
What does it take to get really good? Like, how long? Let's just say that your dad, took off, let's say 2 years from today, and then comes back and starts, training again 6 months. How long does it actually take for them to get back to that level? Because that's one of the hardest questions to answer, man. Because we know that Travis, just from seeing him on podcasts, let's just wipe out anything that he says, because we really can't take that 100%. Time. We've seen him though on his podcast for at least 6 months now, staying consistent, side pressure training and all that. How long do we really think it takes for these guys to get back? Is it like riding a bicycle where, they just
Yeah.
need that tune-up period of like 6 months and they're right back to where they left off? Is it more like they're going to need a good year and a half to get back to that level? What is your
Dennis,
thoughts
though,
on that?
man? Dennis, how long did Dennis take off? 3 years?
Well, that's a special case. I would be hesitant to include Dennis in this conversation.
Why is
Yeah, there's
that?
so many chemicals and
Wow.
there's so
He
many
had a lot of health
other-
problems, and he was
Yeah,
he was in the
Max,
hospital.
Yes, he had
That's
he
why
had
he
a
left.
kidney problem, but assuming in both cases there's no training, are we assuming that there's no training in both cases?
Yeah,
Doesn't
which
matter.
there was no training.
He was
Yeah,
in
it
the
doesn't matter
hospital
if there's
for
a
like
health
a
problem
good
or
few
not.
months.
If we're talking about a complete break, there's going to be a complete break regardless. You can say maybe it's a little worse with Dennis because there's health problems as well, but assuming his health problems are fixed, and
No,
assuming
they weren't though. That's the issue.
Well,
When
James,
he
let me
came
put
back,
this.
he was still a total mess.
Yeah, he's got to get hip surgeries and he's got a lot of things that, would mess up.
he
Where
does.
Travis,
Surgeries. Is that from his strongman days?
I think
I
it's just
believe
all the
so. I
extra
think it
weight,
is old
man,
injuries. Yeah.
and all the weight that he's been lifting all those years, and I mean, he used to walk around a good 50, 60 pounds, heavier than he does now.
And James, I will say that after his injuries, he was never able to push that hard again.
Yeah, it did seem like that. He didn't have the same kind of spark.
Well, he had
Now, the other thing
stints
with
all through
Travis
him.
is Travis's last, real hurrah, was against Saban, and he hurt his right pec. He tore that, and he never really trained 100% after that. So we got to also keep that in mind. Will that not make him be able to get to that level again, not being able to completely go as hard? There's still a lot of questions with Travis.
And Paul, that match with Saban was more like 4 years ago, 4 to 5 years ago, if I'm correct, right?
Yes. That was 4 or 5 years ago. He tore that pec and then he never got it fixed. He kind of just stopped training, and I believe that's why he kind of fell back out of arm wrestling for all those years.
But John Brezink would probably be a better example of taking time off and then coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but age also plays a big role there.
No.
Yeah, but when he came back for the first time, like when he pulled my dad, he was good. He was really strong that day.
Yeah.
And another thing that you got to also put into context is a lot of these guys, I believe, have stepped up their training in the last couple of years because with East versus West and all this opportunity, a lot more money in the sport, you got to also throw that into context as well. So guys are definitely going a lot harder and training up, so it might even be, out of the realm for him to actually even catch these guys now. It might have been such a gap going on. I mean, you look at guys like Devin that, never really stopped. I know he's did the giant pumpkin training and, left wasn't the focus as well, but he's also, kept active table time, all that time. So, that gap alone might be just too far and, for Travis to even actually catch back up to them. But, time will tell. And I'm just hoping that Travis is really taking this 100% and it's not just a cash grab, and he really wants to make this and get some good wins. All right, guys. I'm gonna call it a night, man. We've been on quite a long time. I want to thank everybody for coming on, and if you guys are in the chat, we got 172 guys in there. You can just hit that thumbs up button. Would appreciate that. And let's see what everybody's working with today. Let's see the front doubles. Oh my God, James, bro. You're making us.
We got a pro bodybuilder in here. This is not fair.
Yeah, bro. You just out angled the whole everybody in here.
Don't make me blush. Come on.
James,
I want to do that. I gotta hit the gym.
Pronation pose.
What?
On one of your IFBB Pro cards, you gotta hit a pronation pose.
Dude.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it, man.
For real, bro. November, we want to see it.
Imagine I'm doing my routine on the pro stage and I just hit one of these.
Oh man, that'd be incredible. It'd be incredible.
Start a whole new pose for bodybuilding, man.
Yeah, the pronation pose, dude.
Dude.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. All right, fellas. Well, thank you guys. It was a great show. I wish both of you guys the best of luck, man. I'll definitely be tuned in. Definitely get over. Make sure you buy your pay-per-view, everybody, and support Chance Shore. He's doing some great things down in Florida. And thank you for coming on, guys. Have a great night.
Have a good one.